welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and another one of my updates on what I've been up to in our wonderful world of wargaming. So yeah, it's been not that long since I did an update because frankly I've been cracking through the figures at a ridiculous rate. Even I've been a little surprised at how quick I've been doing them. Yeah, I mean, it's all ACW. So if you wanted anything else, I'm sorry. That's all I've been doing. My obsession with the period, with the figures, with the painting has just gone to another level. I'm just thoroughly enjoying painting the figures. I think it makes me even more convinced that my kind of enjoyment in painting, it's not really the right word because I endure painting really, but the enjoyment I get is on cracking through figures and getting them on the table, the boots on the table. That's why I named the channel the way I did, because for me it's about having the boots on the table, and ACW is so easy to do, so easy to crack through. So yeah, it's been a lot. So let's have a look at what I've been up to. Right, yeah, first up, it's another battalion or regiment of American Civil War figures. These are more Perrys, dressed up as a Union battalion. I think it's the New York Volunteers, is the flag at least. Yeah, not much more to say about it really. I just have enjoyed cracking through these, as I've mentioned many times before. The sort of the approach I've taken, I did a little video showing how simple they are, and it is a question of getting these boots on the table as quickly as possible to a reasonable tabletop standard, and I think that's what I've done with these. Flags are GMB flags, based up in exactly the same way as I've done everything else, with the Vallejo European mud as the base, and then pushed in various tufts, just sort of break it all up and make it look a bit more exciting. 24-man battalion, all plastics, all Perry, all done. So yeah, next up another battalion. This time, so this is a bit odd. So I received, as part of the sort of package that Sean gave me, a whole load of figures that were sort of base painted, I guess you could call it. So a bit like this Confederate guy, have had some kind of colouring started on them. Face, hands, most cases, trousers and the odd jacket or two. I know some people, kind of just hate having second-hand figures like that. For me, it's not so much of an issue, and so I just basically touched them up on top. So I went through pretty much the same progress as I did with all the others that I've shown in videos, and then just used it as the base colour. Now, some of them need a little bit of touching up, but not an awful lot actually. And I think they've come out pretty well, really. So this is them. This is a battalion exactly like this. Now, I think in all bar two of the figures had the jackets coloured in and the trousers coloured in. Some of them had belts done, some didn't. Some had caps done, some didn't. Some had boots, some didn't. You get the picture. So I've just brought them all together, uniformity and so forth. I also based these individually, and you can see they're in movement trays, which I will change probably, or at least put a similar colour so they match in better. But for the photograph, or for the video, I thought I'd just stick them in a set that I had sitting on the side there. I've done them individually so that I can use them as a skirmish formation if I need to, or if I decide to do American Civil War in, as a sharp practice game or similar skirmish game. Having individual figures as well is useful. They're on just standard square bases, which is easy enough to put in these movement trays, and they're only marginally wider than the standard normal based figure troop type. Again, used the Vallejo mud, basically the same process on the figures as I used in that video I did. So another one ready. Much quicker as well with all the base coat done. So next up, again, out of the box of stuff that Sean, Metal Mercenary, gave me, there were a number of sort of other things, and so the gabions was in the box, so I just painted them up. They're resin, they'll be useful in various games, so I just thought while I was there I'd get them done. The officer, I have no idea what manufacturer it is. It looks quite an old 25mm, 28mm figure. It may be a first core, I don't know. It's metal, but I thought I haven't done any Confederate generals yet, so I got the greys out and did him up. He's holding a pair of binoculars, so he can be a junior officer, I guess, or even an ADC or something like that when I've done the rest of my commanders for it. But for now, I thought he was a good figure to get done, and useful for, at least I've got one commander for the Confederates. So I thought it was about time I got on and painted something other than ACW infantry. So I've painted some ACW cavalry. So these are metal figures from Crusader miniatures. They are Confederate Raiders. You can see, hopefully you can see, quite a lot of them have got shotguns, pistols and various other things. I just thought they were a lot of fun. There was quite a lot of success in the war of both sides raiding each other with sort of irregular groups of cavalry, particularly on the rebel side, on the Confederate side, and some states particularly were almost impossible for anything other than very strong columns of Union forces to move around because of the impact of these sort of raiders, bushwhackers. So yeah, painted them up. They're nice figures. I really enjoyed doing them. Now I've got to find some dismounted versions to use with them. So if anybody knows of any decent Confederates with shotguns and things like that, then let me know. I suppose I don't need to, but they could just be dismounted with carbines and things, but just seems right that they should have shotguns like the figures themselves. Yeah, so that's done. I've got loads of plastic, sort of more regular cavalry for both Confederates and Union, so I'll get around to some of those as well in time. But just for a bit of variety, I got these underway. And so on goes the march of the ACW. This is another unit of Confederate infantry. They've got a Texas flag, Texas volunteer flag with them. It's a real hodgepodge. Sorry, that figure's moving back into line. It's a real hodgepodge of figures from that notorious box of figures that Sean gave me. Yeah, just a real mixture of Perry plastics. I think every single one of these. And as I've said many times, I've kind of enjoyed painting sort of ragtag approach of the Confederates. I know they don't necessarily, they won't necessarily like that in reality. I'm sure though they were in some cases as the campaigning season went on, probably the same as the Unions were. But anyway, so nice, another nice unit done, another one for the table. I've now got enough figures to a pretty big battle, I think. So that's the next thing. So one of the things about painting the Union forces, which is a little bit, I guess, repetitive, shall we say, given the fact they're all basically wearing the same uniform, and there isn't so much uniformity, ragtagness that you get with the rebels or the Confederates. I decided I'd do something a little bit different, and having read up on uniforms and what have you, discovered that the US Union forces also had a Marine regiment or two that fought in various engagements, and the difference with the Marines was that they had white trousers and white belts. So just for something different more than anything else, I decided to paint up a regiment of them. So again, they're Perry plastics with a couple of Perry metals in there as well. That one of the flag bearers and one of the drummers is a metal figure. The rest are plastics. Yeah, not much more to say about them really. The flags are from Flags of War. One thing I noticed, I mentioned it in a painting video I did, but I'm researching, the Union regiments tended to carry two flags, stars and stripes, and then a regimental colour, whereas the Confederates generally only carried one flag. So that's an interesting little anecdote from the period that I wasn't aware of until I started to read up on it. Anyway, there you go, another unit done. So finally, for now, this regiment featured in a little cheats guide to painting that I did. This is a Confederate regiment. It's the 3rd Arkansas, according to the flag, although again, not so much units that pretty much the same in this period. This is really only the flag that you can tell. So as I say, I used this as a how I paint video, sort of a cheaty one. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link up. Just another Confederate regiment, mixture of greys and browns. The light blue trousers on this one predominantly. Yeah, just a lot of fun to do. And another regiment pumped out and ready to see action. When I get back from my latest trip away, I'm going to have an even bigger battle of ACW. So I did warn you, just a ridiculous amount. And there's more to come, frankly. However, I think I am at the point, because I now have the point where I can play a reasonable sized game. I am probably going to slow down a bit on it, or at least sort of space out some others. I really want to get back into the epic, both the 30-Year War and also the Hannibal figures, because I really want to get a game of Hannibal at some point very soon. And also Tony down the club keeps going on about how many figures he's painted on his 30-Year War epics, and there's a lot of mine sitting over there that really need to come out and play. So talking about games, what I've been up to. So last week I played a solo game using my first sort of few brigades of American Civil War figures. I had enough for basically 2 small brigades against each other at that point. I probably now have enough for 2 rather larger brigades, or possibly 3, maybe even 4 brigades. But at that stage I had enough for 2 reasonable sized brigades, and I wanted to play a bit of ACW black powder, and I just set up the table. It was a very simple thing where the theory was both sides were trying to secure a village, and it was fun. It didn't last long, but it was good fun. Whetted my appetite considerably. So that was that. So down the club was a bit weird this week. We had our AGM, and so consequently there wasn't as much time as there usually is in an evening. Jonathan and I were going to play some sharp practice, and we'd even set up the table. But I realised that I haven't played it for quite a while, and in fact I couldn't even find my cards for it. Jonathan brought those along, but I realised we hadn't played for a while, and actually Paul and Tony were playing a game of Black Powder Zulu, and so we just in the end hopped over and played with them, and it was fun. I'm not sure I'm getting the Steve and Martin itch around Zulu. I've always been interested, love the films, read a fair bit about the period. Never really quite got me excited, if I'm honest. I don't know. And the game we played didn't really excite me terribly. I mean, we played literally, they just laid down figures. We didn't think about scenarios. We didn't think about sides. And actually, without giving anything away, the Zulu's got a good kicking because really charging a gun line of British is not the best thing to do when they're prepared and ready for you. Unless you have overwhelming numbers, and they didn't. I think the numbers, we didn't balance it properly. But as I say, it was literally just we've got an hour and a half or so to play. Let's just throw down the figures and have a go, and it was fun. We had a laugh. I videoed it. I put it up on the channel, so you'll see it probably after this one goes up. And I'll put the link anyway, so if you want to, you can see it and follow it. It was fun. There was a lot of banter, a lot of ribbing going on. Ultimately, not the best game we've ever played, but it was fun all the same. It was using Paul's really lovely 15mm figures. I mean, the Zulus particularly were amazingly good. Anyway, this week, no game for me Friday because I'm off on holiday. Yes, another holiday, I know. I am this time properly going off on holiday abroad. I'm going off to Turkey, going to have a look around some of the sites in Turkey. Really looking forward to it. So no game for me Friday because we leave quite early Saturday. And Mrs. is very understanding, but that was a stage too far. So no game for me this week. So it does mean also there won't be any videos. Well, I've put a couple up ready to go while I'm away, but it probably means there may be a bit slow down on the videos. But that's the way it is. In terms of purchases, I haven't bought an awful lot, to be absolutely honest. Well, it's not quite true. So no, I haven't bought a huge amount. I did buy some of the AK Interactive paint pens that Martin and also Alex Storm of Seal have been going on about. I haven't really tried them out properly, but I have been using pens quite a bit in my painting anyway, so I'm looking forward to trying them out. I also picked up, I was going to do a separate video on this, but I've run out of time, frankly. I picked up, where's it gone? The new Great Escapes Games compendium, shall we call it that, for Dead Man's Hand, which is a game I love. I really enjoy immensely. Now, as I understand it, they're doing the good, the bad. I think the bad and the ugly are together. But anyway, sets. So it's bringing together all the different factions for the game into one source book. So this one has Buffalo Soldiers, The Stranger, Daughters of the West, The Seven, Mountain Men, Plains Indians, State Police, Texas Rangers, The Boys, The Bucks, The Other Seven, and the Tongan Pioneers. So alongside of that, you've got a number of new legends of the West, which is kind of cool. And you get the cards for them all and what have you. So I'm kind of, I say I like this game very much. We play it as a sort of light relief game, and it's always chaos and always great fun. So yeah, so there's different cards for the game as well as the cards. Also came with a rather nice figure. It might be. That's not Clint Eastwood at all. So yeah, that's really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I was planning to do a sort of, not an unboxing, but a flick through of that, but I just ran out of time. So there we go. The other thing I bought, and this is just, I am my own worst enemy. I really am. I happened to see, so Martin Seventh Son has been talking to me a while back about By Fire and Sword and how much he enjoyed the game and how good it is. So it's a Renaissance sort of game, and they did a new version not that long ago, and there was an opportunity to late back their Kickstarter. So I did. So There it is there. So this is version 2 of the Fire and Sword version 2, 2nd edition. It's a two-player starter kit. You've got 2 armies in there. You've got 2 armies in there, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Ottoman Empire. 15mm figures, plus all the rules, the dice, blah de blah de blah. You can see I haven't even opened it yet, but it looks very, very interesting. There's some neat rules in it around sort of scale of armies and how you play it out. So it basically balances the game. So you could go in with a massive army, but your objective is going to be really difficult to achieve, etc, etc. So as I understand it, so I haven't opened it, it's only what Martin tells me, and the new version is supposed to be quite a lot different to the old version, which is good because I haven't played the old one, so I have no idea. So I'm going to open that, and look at that with some interest. I may even take the rule book away with me, I don't know, maybe not. I mean, look at that Polish lance, Polish winged hussars, wow. Anyway, so that's what I bought. I also bought some more tufts from Amazon because I always go through so many of that. So that's probably about it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I'm thoroughly looking forward to going away, so I look forward to seeing you all when I'm back with probably another project or 2 to line up because that's the way it is. It may even inspire me to paint my Ottoman Napoleonic army, which I really need to do. So in the meantime, stay safe, stay well, happy gaming, and I will see you soon. This is Dom, signing out.